He's like a 4-5. I'm a chief, I'm an Indian. I go to war with any man. My voice is like an instrument. I'm in the game, they on the bench. So that mean I'm in the field. Tell a bitch don't touch me till the leave. I'm about to cop a pill. Top a pill. Feeling like an astronaut. Started from the bottom, baby. Now look at me at the top. That bass go boom, 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 boom. Coming out the gut. That 808, boom, 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 boom. Feel the aftershock. It's feeling like an earthquake.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Dumb Yinzers. This is episode 156. Oof. It was a soggy weekend. A soggy weekend here in Pittsburgh. It was.
Yes, it was. Someone say it was rather moist outside.
It was rather moist.
I don't know. I got nothing right now.
One of my favorite words.
Mine too. I love it. I don't know why people don't like it.
Yes.
It's a fun word to say.
Yes. What's wrong with a little moisture, Mike?
Nothing. It makes everything better.
For real? Damn, it must be true.
It's true. It is true.
So, yes, welcome back. A lot of stuff going on here, Mike. I got a whole shitload of stuff in front of me here.
All right.
Got the good, the bad, the ugly. Let's just start with the bad and the ugly. Pittsburgh Pirates, they are 1-9 over the last 10 games. They dropped another one to the Cubs yesterday, 8-3. That puts the Pirates at 56-97, which I think they only have, I don't know. They don't have many games, 10, 13 maybe, but they're only three losses away from reaching another 100-loss season.
I love it. I can't wait till they hit the 100 losses. It's what this team deserves.
They got the Reds for 3 at home. Starts today at 6:35, game 1.
Ooh.
And then after this, they go to St. Louis for 3, and then they come back home for 3 against St. Louis. So I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to hit that 100-loss mark.
Oh, they're going to hit it easily, and it's going to be great once they do. This is what happens when you don't put any money in your major league team or even in the minor league team. It's comical. It's a joke. I love it.
And I kind of wish that it wasn't something that people did just for fun, to get out of the house, go down the stadium, because I would really love to see this stadium empty for, one of these games, just to show the owners and the people in charge and the office people that this sucks. What you guys are doing sucks. It's terrible. Nobody should be buying into this at all.
No.
And I can't tell people not to go out and not enjoy the day and take the kids, because you know what, that is something to do in Pittsburgh. However, you're not doing nothing but hurting this team more by supporting them. I think it would be fantastic if this stadium was empty for a couple games, but people, how they are.
Yeah, it's not much else to do during the summer, but now, we're getting Penguins started up this weekend.
Yes.
So, Buccos are an afterthought. The Penguins
played 2 games. They played 2 preseason games over the weekend. They won 3-2 in the first one, an overtime win against the Blue Jackets, but they lose. They lose the second one 5-1. So preseason is underway. Won't be long now, man. We're gonna be the puck's gonna be dropping before you know it, man.
The way the Steelers season's going, people can't wait now for it to get here.
Over to football, the number 24 ranked Pitt Panthers beat Rhode Island 45-24 on Saturday. They host Georgia Tech this coming Saturday at 8:00 p.m. We'll check that out. Also, the number 11 Penn State Nittany Lions beat Central Michigan on Saturday as well, 33-14, and Penn State stays home to host Northwestern on Saturday at 3:30.
Barn burner. Special shout out to my Kent State Golden Flash. They did not beat Georgia, but they hung in there. They made it a game.
And
it was a lot closer than it should have been.
They started selling beer, Mike, at Happy Valley this weekend.
I know they approved beer sales, but I don't know if they officially started selling it or not.
I think I thought that I heard that they did. One way or another, I think Penn State's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It never really seemed like it would be a trouble school if they would sell alcohol anyway. I guess you can't tell until it happens. But I'm you know, whatever.
You're getting liquored up before the game anyway. So you know, hey, it's another revenue stream for the team and the university.
Absolutely, man. Three shot at Kennywood over the weekend.
I saw that.
Two teenagers. The police are investigating. Seems like there's a lot of problems up at Kennywood anymore, man.
There are a lot of problems everywhere. This is why I stay home.
You go into that place and you're trapped in there. You know what I mean? It's a closed-in environment, and if people start shooting, I'm not a big fan, so I don't know. You're not going to see me at Kennywood anytime. And which I would like to go. I'd like to go to Kennywood and eat some potato patch, some funnel cakes, Dippin' Dots, whatever, and you know, maybe even chance it and take a ride or something. I would like to do that sometime.
See, I'm not a big fan of amusement parks, so this is even better for me. This is another excuse for me not to have to go to an amusement park. So this turned out to be a win for me. You know.
Yeah.
It sucks for everyone else, but it was a win for me. So I think that's what we should focus on is me. It's all about Mike. No one died, did they please?
Hurricane Ian is making its way to the States. Yes. I believe sometime tomorrow morning it'll hit the Gulf area. Mm-hmm. And then throughout the week work its way up the coast. So we'll be seeing some storms and rain from that a little bit later in the week, roughly around Thursday.
Yeah, if you're down there, be safe. Hurricanes are no fun. We've seen over the past decade what they can do. 15, 20, actually, almost 20 years of what these hurricanes can do. So be safe.
The Heinz History Center has free admission for children through October. So if you was interested in going down to the Heinz History Center, make it down this month coming up here because it'll be free for the kids, Mike. Take the kids down.
No, I ain't taking my kid anywhere. He's a heathen. As he sits off screen all peaceful.
Yeah, right. Rihanna was named the headline for the Super Bowl halftime show, which means there could be more people added to this show. I personally think that Tupac and Biggie should be there.
Well, we were talking about that off air. You know, Tupac and Biggie are still alive somewhere.
I've always said that, and I'll tell you why. Because when it was going down in the '90s, I was a big fan of Tupac, and just the way the whole Machiavelli tape came about, and his death, and he basically had his death on that particular tape, that CD. And there was also another song called I Ain't Mad At Ya, where the video played out the exact same way as his last moments of life. He was in this boxing match. He came out, got a little scuffle, ended up getting murdered. And then shortly after that, Machiavelli comes out and then he dies. I was always a little just a little suspicious. But like I was telling Mike, like he mentioned off the air over the weekend, him and I were talking and I seen a Snoop reel or TikTok. And Snoop said, quote, you got to listen to our music. He come out and he says, you want to know about Biggie and Tupac, you have to listen to our music. Listen to the music. He says, what was the name of Notorious B.I.G.'s last album before he died? And of course it was called Life After Death. And Tupac's was the Machiavelli, which, the coming back to, faking the death, coming back to life, blah, blah, blah. Because, I like I said, I've always kind of had this suspicion, but you know what? Snoop Dogg, he just confirmed it for me. They're alive. I think that they should show. You know what would top last year's halftime show? Having Tupac and Biggie show up and start rapping like as Rihanna is rapping. You know what I mean? Have her singing, and all of a sudden these two fucking guys, everyone's like, who the fuck is that? Who is that? That looks like Biggie. That looks like Tupac. Dude, tell me that wouldn't blow wouldn't blow the shit off the entertainment world.
It would, but we'd have to get them. They'd have to come back in from Cuba because I think they are down in Cuba.
I do too.
And
like I was saying to you, it's the entertainment business. So there's no, they don't have to tell us if they're alive or dead. It'll be the same situation as writing off a character on a show and having them die. And you know what? If they write their character off and ride off into the sunset and live their life with their money and peace and maybe raise a family, it makes a lot of sense, man. I like I said, 20 some years later, I'm still strong to that. And I don't know. I can't see me changing my opinion on that.
It's like one of the few conspiracy theories that I buy into is that, one or both of them are alive somewhere.
Absolutely.
I just don't want it to be true that they're dead because, the world would suck if they truly are.
This Friday, got big news. This Friday, we will be doing a special show, and it's going to be at 6:00 in the evening. And what it's going to be, Mike, is we're going to have the guys from formerly known as Hit 'em Hard, now Rock Solid Entertainment. They are going to be on to have a pre-show interview with us prior to their big show, which let me promote right now. I might as well, since I'm talking about it.
Might
It's
as well.
Fall Special. Rock Solid Entertainment presents the Beauty and the Beast edition, hosted by Ms. Blue Diamond and co-hosted by Cigarillos. It's going to be this Friday, September 30th at 8:30 all the way up until 12:30. Admission is going to be $10 a person, and it's down at Frank's Grill, 1111 7th Avenue, Beaver Falls. So you're going to want to check that out. Now, like I said, the important thing for us is we will be doing a special show that day, which the reason the timing is on it at 6:00 in the evening is just going to be fresh pre-show interviews. The guys are going to be on. They're going to talk. They're going to talk about the show that night. And also, I have a lot of other things that I want to get to the bottom with these gentlemen concerning, just some things that's happened over the past few months with them. So that's going to be really, really cool. So you're going to want to turn on Friday.
Yes.
Friday,
Yes.
Check that out, and then make your way down to the show. So
Yes.
you can, make it a whole day thing. Get out and see the guys. It'll be a lot of fun. A couple other things I want to go back. I talked about the Pitt, Rhode Island game briefly. A couple of the local gentlemen that play for the team. MJ Devonshire, he returns a punt. Now he's from here in the valley where we're from. He actually graduated the same high school as Darrell Rivas,
Yes.
Ty Law, Mike Ditka. The list really goes on. But he had the 82-yard punt return in the win over Rhode Island on Saturday with a block. He was sprung with a block from a Steph Hall, who is from also Central Valley, another local school here with a lot of great talent coming out of it. So keep your eye on them guys. They're doing really great things up there. I'd like to see them make it to the next level. What else? I started watching something over the weekend. Did you see on Netflix, Mike? There's a show. It's one of these mini series. Excuse me, and it's a 10-episode series, and everyone's talking about it. It's called Dahmer. It's about Jeffrey Dahmer, the guy that ate all those people, killed them, and ate them. Well, I started watching that on, I guess it was Saturday night, and I got through a couple episodes. So what I think we're gonna do, if you had a chance to check that out,
I have not yet. I have it in my queue along with like a million other shows, but I'm going to watch it, all the hype around it and everything. I just haven't had the time this weekend to watch it. So yeah, I'm going to start watching it. Probably bang out a couple episodes today.
Yeah. If you could do that, like watch a couple episodes, we'll talk about it on Wednesday, maybe.
Heck yeah.
You know what? It's interesting because I like the show American Horror Story. And the main guy, the guy that plays Dahmer, is a guy named Evan Peters, who plays on every season of the American Horror Story. And I think he's a brilliant actor. And the writer, Ryan Murphy, and a couple other people that are involved with the American Horror Story are involved with creating this particular Netflix special. Again, it's 10 hours. It's 10 episodes, 1 hour an episode. I did catch the first couple. It's very disturbing. So I can't wait to talk about that a little bit more. I guess we could talk about the pink elephant in the room. The NFL.
Yes.
Over the weekend, everybody.
Yes.
NFL, Mike.
I'm loving it. This weekend was insane. It was nuts. It's everything you want it to be.
Absolutely. Let me get over. Let me get the correct page here.
Yeah,
so I could be in the know.
Real quick, right now in the league, there's only one team that does not have a win. That's your 0-3 Oakland Raiders or Las Vegas Raiders. Excuse me.
Yes. And how many teams are 3-0? I know that the Dolphins are.
The Dolphins, the Eagles, I believe, are 0-3 or 3-0. Excuse me.
You're right. They're 3-0.
Miami.
It looks like everybody. That's my Super Bowl pick. Everybody, right there.
The Giants, the Giants have a chance to go 3-0.
Yes, and the Texans are still winless with an 0-2-1. So we do have a couple of things that are on the edge. But as of right now, the Eagles and Dolphins. Woo! Who would have thought?
Like there were the Eagles were the sexy pick this offseason, and I wasn't buying into it because their quarterback. I didn't have Jalen Hurts. Did not have the best Jalen Hurts. Why did I call him Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts. Excuse me. Did not have the best season last year.
You call him Jalen Squirts?
I call him Jalen Hurts for some reason. That is not the quarterback we were looking for. But I just didn't think he had it. And after watching him last year and then this year, he's balling out. So
he really is, man.
I give it to him, man. He's taking this team. He's
Absolutely.
putting them on his back and saying, "All right." He took that next step.
We're not gonna go over our picks today, only because we still do have that game tonight on Monday Night Football. Cowboys at the Giants. Cowboys are 1-1, of course, and the Giants are undefeated, still at 2-0. And Mike and I we have opposite picks on that, so we do have to wait through that game to talk about our pick.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's not going to stop us from talking about the league and the games yesterday.
Oh no!
First game, the one that I had watched personally, it was the Bills at the Dolphins with the butt punt. You know what? The game was great. It really was. And you know what? It looked like 2 3-0 teams. And the beauty, I think, is this: these are two teams that's been bad for so long in that division. You always had New England, and then it was Buffalo, Dolphins, Jets, and the three. The three latter were always, pretty bad teams.
Yeah.
So it's good to see Buffalo and Miami having a really good game, both 2-0 going into. Of course, Miami wins 21-19, and Buffalo drops to 2-1. So it was really cool seeing a meaningful game coming from those two teams in that division.
God, there's a lot coming out of the game. Like you touched on the butt punt, which
I touched the butt punt.
Mark Sanchez, he was famous for the butt fumble. He tweeted out, stay in your lane. This is mine. I own this. The guy who got, the football up his butt, he tweeted out those tweets have a W tatted on them now.
Yeah.
The heat down there. And who would have thought, in Miami, the heat would be an issue. When Buffalo Bills fans are going crazy over this, they are crying our sideline didn't have shade. Why didn't your team bring down stuff to shade them? You play down there every year. That the opposing team's sidelines are always open to the elements in every stadium. They're the worst. So you bring extra seating. You bring your little misters. You bring shade tents. You bring stuff for this. This is your team's fault, not the opposing team's fault.
I tell you what.
They were complaining to OSHA, their fans want to complain to OSHA over unsafe working conditions. It's
Buffalo, comical. Listen, you play in the snow, you play in the ice, you jackasses. Anybody that comes to your stadium in December plays in the ice, plays in the elements, plays in the snow. OSHA, fuck you.
Bills
fuck
fans,
the whole Bills mafia. That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. There's always a disadvantage when you go to other people's stadium. All those years we went down there and played Jacksonville to open up the season when they were in the division, they would make us wear our black jerseys so we would get hotter. Don't get the fuck out of here. That to me is a sign of a team that hasn't won in a long time. And
has never won. They've never won. They choked 4 Super Bowls away.
Or just they don't even know what they're talking about. That's ridiculous. OSHA, get the fuck out of here.
But then also in that game,
OSHA,
the butt punt, the weather, and then the Bills fans also saying, "Oh, you only won because we had so many people hurt." They're crying so much.
It's football.
I loved it. But there was that great moment after the game. I don't know if you saw it when Tua and Allen, hugged it out and everything, and Tua consoling Allen for he played that great game, just couldn't get it over. That was nice to see. But then, Bills fans going, why is he consoling him? He didn't beat us. Like, yeah, he did. He did. Final score reflects that Miami beat you. That was just great right there. I love it.
Now I hope the Bills lose. You know what? I was kind of rooting for the Bills. I thought, it'd be cool if this team wins a Super Bowl. You know what? Fuck that. The second you said OSHA, they lost me. Fuck the Bills.
That shit was great. When I saw that, I was dying.
You know what I mean?
I was dying.
I don't want to talk about them anymore. Next game, the Bengals and the Jets. Now, this is one that I was kind of curious to see how this would play out. The Bengals were sitting at 0-2. They lost to the Steelers and then the Cowboys consecutive weeks to start off the season. The Jets just come off of this comeback win against either Cleveland or Baltimore, Mike, last week. And I was expecting this to be a good game.
Yeah,
they were both not doing so great. The final count on that ended up being 27-12 Cincinnati. I guess they come out and played their game, Mike. They came out and did what they do. They hit Tyler Boyd, they hit Chase. They do what the Bengals do, and they got the win. The Jets, they are much improved. I think you're going to see an improved Jets team this year, but I don't know by how much. I know that this week we will get a firsthand look at them. So I mean, we can kind of monitor, see where we're at with them, where they're at with us. So I think this week is going to be not only a big game for us, but also pretty interesting.
It is going to be going to be a must win for us coming in. Back to that Jets game. I don't know if you saw, but how Jamar Chase, flipped off Minka when they lost. Well, this one, he was up against Jets rookie corner, Sauce Gardner. And Gardner was just shutting him down all game long. And Jamar Chase is like trying to yank out his mouthpiece that's sitting there, getting all up in this guy. Jamar Chase is getting shook by defenders now. Like when last year, he was always open. This guy was like money in the bank. No one could cover him. Now players are starting to get into his head now that, they're not winning that well. And then you got the quarterback Burrows deleting all of his social media. It was all fun and games for these guys when they were just steamrolling the league last year. Now they have some adversity, and they're doing what the Bengals always do when they get adversity. They're being the Bungles right now. They're not being the Bengals like last year. They're being the Bungles from all past 20, 30 years that we've known this team. It's just comical. It's funny. I just the way this team is starting to they won the game, but they're slowly unraveling. If you give them some adversity, they're having trouble bouncing through adversity this year.
They do. They fold. That team folds. They've always folded. And you know what? Just because of all the shit they talk, I love it. There's nothing else I'd rather watch more than the Bengals fold and get beat.
Me too. It's always fun.
Absolutely. So that gives the Bengals a win in the division. Finally, they're up and running with everybody else. The Cleveland Browns have two wins. Is that where we're at? So
I think they have Brownies have 2 wins.
So I mean, a half game to a game pretty much separates everybody in the division. So look for this division to be sloppy. I at some point look for the Baltimore Ravens to start running away with the division. I'm going to be honest with you. They came out with a solid win over New England yesterday. We'll get to that one in a minute.
Yeah.
However, next on the list, Mike, is the winless Raiders, and the loss to the Tennessee Titans, who was also winless going into yesterday. So you didn't really know what we were going to get. No, I thought, you know what, the Raiders aren't going to. They got to win at some point. They really do. They have to win at some point. And what better team than the Titans? Titans beat them 24-22.
This is the one where I know I picked the Titans. You can't stop Derrick Henry that much, and this Raiders team, man, they were able to scoop up Devontae Adams from Green Bay, and it's not looking good over there for them. He was supposed to be that missing piece to help that offense, And they're sitting 0-3. It's not looking pretty out there in Oakland or Las Vegas, excuse me. I believe their coach, had right after the game got called into the owner's office, and that's never a good sign after the game when you have to go have a meeting with the owner.
Right.
So, and once again, this is another franchise when they start to unravel, it's a thing of beauty to watch because they can't escape their own history.
I think that, everyone's kind of one thing and looking forward to possibly a big game, especially here in Pittsburgh come, and I know it's a way down the road, come Christmas Eve when we play the Raiders for that big 50-year anniversary of the Immaculate Reception. That's supposed to be a big game. And, who knows? At this point, there might be a couple of 2-win teams playing at that point.
That would be great. That would be more enjoyable than if they were just both sitting and, like battling for like a 500 record.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It almost puts me in mind of that last game we played at Three River Stadium. And I'm almost certain that the Raiders were in there, the Redskins were in there, and we weren't any good. Remember, we were bad those last couple of years of the 1900s, and you had these big games, and I think it might have been like the 25 year or something for the Raiders. It was something like that, but we were both pathetic teams, and it was only fun for us to watch. Yeah, but hopefully between sometimes now and the end of December, we could pick up. I can't see this team going for 18, 17 games, Mike, and just being as terrible as they've been for these first 3 weeks. I just can't. I can't.
It's bound to happen. It happens to every team. Like we said, we've had like that 18-year stretch of 18 years since we got Ben of not losing, man. Ever since we got Ben, we stopped picking out of the top 10, top 11. Ever since then, we've been picking in the 20s. It's bound to happen. It's going to happen to us, Yeah. Look at that. We had that great run with the Penguins. Then they lost. And then look what happened. They lost for a bunch of years. Guess what happens? You're able to build up your core, your team. And then boom, they go rattle off 3 more Stanley Cups. So if the Steelers, we're going to have to suck before we get better.
Oh, they suck.
They suck. I love it. I love bad football. Bad football is so infuriating to watch, but also so cathartic to watch at the same time.
The next game is the Saints and the Panthers. The Saints and the Panthers, Mike. Two teams that I could give 2 shit less about. I really can. The Saints and the Panthers. I didn't even like them when they were good. Just not a fan. They're out of my. I don't know. They're not even in our conference. I pay very little attention to these 2 teams. The only thing that I find intriguing with this matchup, if I have to choose something, would be the quarterbacks, Jameis Winston and Baker Mayfield. Yeah. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch the game. I didn't see many highlights. I know that the Panthers did win. They won 22-14, getting their first win of the season. Do you have any specs on Baker Mayfield's numbers?
He didn't put up good numbers, and he even said so after the game. He was like, we'll take wins any way we can get them, but he's like, I need to play better. Which that's a sign of a leader saying, hey, we got the win, but, they were like more or less saying, hey, the team was lucky to win because the way I played. That's what a leader's supposed to say. Christian McCaffrey, he's looking back in form. He 25 carries, 108 yards, just bowling people over. I was kind of disappointed in Jameis Winston, only 1 touchdown, 2 picks. He's my guy. I like him. I've always liked him. I think he's a good player. Not a great quarterback, good quarterback.
A friend of mine's a big Florida State guy. I recall him talking a lot about him. Florida State, he was real successful. I think he had some kind of little scandal there at the end of his.
He stole like $75 in crab legs.
$75 in crab legs?
$75, $25, something like that, acting like it's a big deal.
No, they're not. Theft is a crime.
No, you see people stealing food, you didn't see
it. All right, the Saints and Panthers are boring the hell out of me. Let's go to the this one here. I think, no matter how bad or good the teams are, it's always going to be a good game. It's the Ravens and Patriots. Ravens at New England, and Ravens. I mean, it seemed close at times, and then it seemed like it got a little further apart. Then it closed in. I didn't see it, but nonetheless, it seemed like the Ravens had control of the game for the most part. And you know what? After playing the New England team that we faced last week, it doesn't surprise me because the Ravens are good. Lamar Jackson is good. They have good things going on over there. I don't think that they lost one game, and I could see them. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I could see them burning through 3-4 games without losing. And that's why I say I look for the Ravens to win this division. I think they're just the best team. I think Cincinnati's a pretty damn good team, but I don't know what's going on. They're just having that Super Bowl hangover, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's what it's happening there.
But I think those games are going to be good when it comes down to the Ravens and the Bengals. I certainly will be watching, but I look for the Ravens to win this division. I don't like to say that. I don't like to think that. I don't like to feel that. However, just having a general idea and decent sense to make semi-informed predictions. I'm gonna say that Baltimore wins the division this year. But again, we still have a long way to go. We have 14 weeks plus the bye week, so we still have about 4 months, a little under 4 months. So a lot can happen.
Lamar Jackson went off yesterday. He single-handedly won this game. He had 4 touchdowns passing. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, 170 yards rushing, and another touchdown. He's putting up, I think, better numbers than he did at this point in his MVP season. He's dominating the league right now. It is insane what he is doing. But next week they have Buffalo coming in. They're playing.
Ooh.
Yeah, they got Buffalo, then Cincy, the Giants, Browns, Bucks, Saints, Panthers.
So it doesn't really get much easier for them. They basically have the same schedule we have, with the exception of a team here and a team there.
Yeah, just a handful of teams, I think. Yeah, but I was surprised though. Their rush defense gave up 3 touchdowns, which is unheard of for the Baltimore Ravens rush defense to give up 3 rushing touchdowns.
You hear that? You know what I mean?
It is bound to happen. Every team gets that happens every once in a while. But Patriots are a good rushing team. But this shocked me.
There's this kid.
I'm not used to seeing it.
He's a quarterback for Louisville. He looks just like Lamar Jackson out on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way he moves, he runs, he's quick. Watch out for this kid. And I remember telling I told a couple people whenever Lamar Jackson was in his junior year, maybe his sophomore, I forget what it was. I said, watch this guy. He's going to be special out of Louisville. You know what? Watch this guy. He's going to be special out of Louisville. I didn't catch his name. I just caught the highlights. But this kid that's a quarterback right now for Louisville could very well be that next Lamar Jackson.
I just love, I just want to know what all those people that are thinking when Lamar was coming out from college saying, oh, he should be a wide receiver or he should be a running back. He doesn't have what it takes to be a quarterback. And there he is throwing four touchdowns yesterday to 1 pick and then rushing for another. I've always been a fan of Lamar Jackson. When he had that first great season at Louisville, when he jumped on the national stage, I've been a fan since then. He's just fun to watch play. And as a fan of football, how can you not sit back and watch him play and not be entertained?
I think there's going to be a handful of teams that gets the Baltimore Ravens this year that aren't going to be able to stop him. There's a certain commitment. You almost got to kind of change your whole defensive the way you play defense too. And I honestly believe if a team's from out of conference, another division, they're not going to fully commit to making all the necessary changes because it's a lot of things that you have to go in and uproot just to defend this guy. I think they're going to win a lot of games. I didn't think the New England Patriots were going to be a team that was going to be able to stop him. There's going to be a few teams that do. Yeah. And there's obviously going to be the division teams that are going to because it's division and we know them. Yeah. But your really good teams are going to be able to stop them. But there's going to be a handful of teams that I can see.
The only teams that I've really
in this season.
Yeah, the only defense I've really seen keep him in check were the Steelers somehow magically kept him in check because normally rushing quarterbacks kill us. And then San Diego.
Spillane.
Yeah, who'd have thought Spillane?
Spillane's the guy that stops him every time, dude.
He's made 2 plays his entire career. That's all he needs to make.
And then the Henry tackle.
Yeah, that's it. That's his entire career. He can retire on those 2 plays, and he's a god in Pittsburgh.
Quit while you're ahead, brother. Get the fuck out, man.
Because the longer you keep playing, you have more chances to disappoint.
The more you play, the more people are going to forget about you. Lions and Vikings, Mike. I can't get a break with these Lions. We have a friend. We had him on the show, of course, Trucks. He's a big Lions fan, and I keep taking the Lions because he keeps telling me that this team is going to be so much better. And they are. They definitely got pieces in places that they haven't had in the past. So I am kind of jumping on that Lions bandwagon a little bit. Don't get me wrong. But the Lions lose to Minnesota 28-24, seem to go back and forth. The Lions had a pretty large lead late in the game, and Minnesota ends up winning it.
My biggest disappointment from this game is, Justin Jefferson was only 3 catches for 14 yards. Dude's one of the best receivers in the league. You only targeted him 6 times. I was very disappointed, but the corner that they had covering him up in Detroit, Jeff Okudah out of Ohio State. I think it's like his 3rd year in the league. Dude has been shutting people down all season long. So it's just disappointing. I have Justin Jefferson on my fantasy team, and I needed him to ball out because I left Njoku on the bench on both my teams. Not that I'm bitter.
I really don't got much more to say about this game. I don't know.
Me either. It's the NFC North. It's the one of the few divisions in the league that I just don't care about. It's the NFC North.
Eagles 24, team formerly known as the Redskins 8.
Commanders.
Eagles go to 3-0. Washington drops to 1-2. Again, like Mike said, he didn't buy into the whole Eagles thing in the offseason, but I think that Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles are making people believers. They're sitting 3-0 right now, first place in the NFC East. And if the Giants get knocked off tomorrow, that won't change anything because the Eagles will still be in first place. Watch out for these Eagles.
Yeah, I'm like I said, man, I'm surprised how well they are playing. And Jalen Hurts, I was looking up his stats, and last year they were not that great. And then this year, man, he's just been on fire. Using Devontae Smith. He had 169 yards receiving yesterday. And they got A.J. Brown as well. They built a nice team. Miles Sanders, their running back, is so underrated in the league. He's just a solid running back. So they have a good team. That defense put up 9 sacks yesterday.
Wow.
9. Count them, 9.
And I don't know who got all the sacks, but going into the weekend, Alex Highsmith had 4.5 sacks and led the NFL. But again, after a game like that, I didn't count. I didn't look at their numbers. That could very well change.
Yeah.
But Alex Highsmith, Mike, was sitting at the top of the sack list going into the weekend.
Hey, that's what happens when you have 3 sacks with TJ Watt on the other side, and then the next game you get it, 3/4 of a sack each 2 games.
Now this one here was a big surprise to me. I thought if you was going to pick anybody to get a win this week, it would be the Chiefs over the Colts.
Yeah.
But boy, did they sure poo-poo that. The Colts beat the 1-1 Colts beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City dropped 2-1. I'm sorry?
I was surprised. I was just saying I was surprised as well.
Yeah, not a lot of people seen that coming. Matty Ice, baby, Matty Ice. A lot of people were counting him out. Matt Ryan down there in Indianapolis, making the scenic scene change, going from Atlanta, where he played all of his career, to playing in Indianapolis, and they pull it off, man. They get a win over the Chiefs, and that that falls in the category of the sun shines on a dog's ass even sometimes for me. I can't see this being a game changer. I can't see the Chiefs really getting hung up on this loss and having a bad season because of it. And I can't see the Colts tearing off and winning a lot of games in a row or stringing a bunch of good games together. I kind of put this under the fluke. However, as it says at the bottom of our screen, it's a crazy NFL weekend. So a lot of these games, they do kind of hit you in that area. It's like, whoa, what the,
Yeah, because the Colts, they had that good run last year, and then they had to beat the Jaguars to make it into the playoffs.
Yeah,
they choked that game away, and it's just continued. And they have a pretty good team up there. Their defense is good. They have a good line, great running back in Jonathan Taylor. I don't think Matt Ryan was your answer at quarterback, but checking in on the Chiefs here, man. After I think it was like at halftime, you have Mahomes and his offensive coordinator going at it, Eric Bieniema. They're just going at it. After the games, Mahomes is saying, "Hey, we don't have time to figure it out as an offense. We need to be gelling right now." So that signs that they're, you lost Tyreek, you lose a couple other receivers, you bring a couple in. It's just, Mahomes is used to like, hey, let's go. Our offense should be on point from game one to the end of the season. And right now, it's not clicking the way it should be. And, it's a little I don't want to say discontent down there, but, you're seeing this a lot in the NFL in this first month. Players and coaches getting into it. Like we saw it in the Jets game. Their big stud defensive lineman getting into with his coach. And if they want to send him a message and say, hey, we don't tolerate that here, Pittsburgh will gladly take him for a 7th round pick.
Yeah, right.
We'll send him a lesson. You can bring him out. After the game, you can just leave him here. We'll give you a 7th round pick for him. Kansas City, if you have problems with Mahomes, we'll give you a 6 for him. Bring him here. Let's just bring all your malcontent good players to Pittsburgh.
The other team with a tie, the Houston Texans, they played the Bears. They were at Chicago yesterday. The Bears pull off the win 23-20 over the Texans. The Bears still another team that I'm trying to get a feel for. Not real sure all they have going on over there. However, they're sitting at 2-1 in the NFC North. So
how they are the way Justin Fields is playing is beyond me.
Yeah, they still got the defense, don't they? Got a good defense, right?
Pretty good defense. For the most part. It's kind of like the Steelers defense goes on reputation.
Yeah,
but it's just I don't know. I don't think. Once again, like Justin Fields, he's not ready to play. He had 7 touchdowns, 10 picks last year in 12 games. Through 3 games, he has 2 touchdowns and 4 picks. He's not looking good at all. He's only completing 51% of his passes. I liked, he played for Ohio State, a team I hate, but I liked watching him play. I just don't think he was ready to. He's ready to be thrust in as a starter. I think he needs a little more seasoning, or just keep playing him like the way the Eagles did and the way Miami did with their 2 quarterbacks, and then let him figure it out. And then next year, he'll do it. So hopefully they stick with him, not do like they did with Trubisky, in and out of the lineup, not building a team around him.
The next game I think was interesting, Mike. We spoke about this team a moment ago. The Jaguars. They beat the Chargers. Did Herbert play?
Well, he played. He played the whole game, and they
really?
left him. Yeah, they left him in there as they were getting trounched, which made no sense to me.
Did he get beat up at all anymore? Or I know last week he got beat up pretty good.
Let me see. I'm taking a look here. He got sacked one time. Not sure about quarter. Oh, he got hit 6 times on quarterback hits, and before the game, they said they're going to use an ultrasound to make sure when they were doing the injection, to make sure they got it 100% where they wanted it.
Yeah.
So that's insane that they kept him out there for that long. Jacksonville. Who saw this coming? Like
2-1.
Yeah, they've been slowly putting pieces in place. They got James Robinson's back from that Achilles injury. He went off for 100 yards. Beautiful. Well, of course, half of it came on one run, but it was a beautiful touchdown run.
Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion, Mike, is the real deal. This guy, all he did was win. Ever since you heard of Trevor Lawrence, all he did was win. You take him out of the program that he was in college. The college takes a little fall. They don't, they have they have a down season. Even this season, I don't think they're as great as their ranking puts them. But Trevor Lawrence, this guy, all he does is win. I watched for the Jacksonville Jaguars to win some games this year. And once Trevor Lawrence gets on a roll and starts doing what Trevor Lawrence does, watch out.
Yeah, he last year, his numbers weren't great. 59% of his passes.
Was he a rookie last year?
Yeah, rookie, 12 touchdowns, 17 picks. People were calling him a bust already, saying they should have just kept Gardner Minshew. This year, he's completing 69.4% of his passes, 6 touchdowns, 1 pick, QB rating of 103. He, like you said, he's the real deal. And if he keeps playing the way he is, man, he's, going to show why he was the number one, or why they took him. When they took
that kid, like I said, all he did was win. very smart, very savvy quarterback.
Yeah.
I have no problem in the world thinking that he's going to eventually get to that point to where he's just doing what he does, and maybe in a couple of years, if he doesn't do what Jacksonville wants him, he could land somewhere else on a team that has, or he could turn this team into being a competitor one way or another. One way or another. Trevor Lawrence is not gonna flatline. He's not gonna stink. This kid is a hell of a quarterback.
He's shown that he was not a 1-year wonder in college. He had good season after good season after good season.
Absolutely. The Rams and Cardinals, Mike. The Rams and Cardinals. I believe that Aaron Donald got a sack, a couple tackles, if I'm not mistaken, a tackle, maybe a tackle for an assist and a sack. One of the best defensive linemen in the game, which we'll get to shortly. But let's bust these last few games real quick here. The Rams, they beat the Cardinals 20-12. The Rams go to 2-1. The Cardinals drop to 1-2. You got anything about this game?
Aaron Donald's sack was sack number 100.
Okay.
For his career. Kyler Murray, after the game, telling his wide receivers, when you play with me, you cannot be sleeping out there. You have to be awake. You have to be. If you don't think you're going to get the ball, I don't want you out on the field, because the way we play on offense, when I break the pocket, you have to be ready. And that's what, that's kind of like how when Ben would get out of the pockets, all the receivers knew, okay, the play broke down, run to the quarterback, find an open spot. And I have no problem with Kyler Murray calling out his receivers to say, hey, get your head in the game and pay attention.
Right. No, I don't either. I think it's something that some of these quarterbacks have to do. I know there's a lot of egos in that huddle. I know there's a lot of egos on that sideline. But at some point, you got to take that role as the leader and make everybody respect you and pay attention to you and listen to you, because that's your job.
Yep.
Packers and Buccaneers. No Giselle in the stands for this game. She's still not happy with Mr. Brady. She's not happy with the GOAT. But nonetheless, the Packers, they beat the Buccaneers 14-12. I look forward to that game a little bit. I thought that a good Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady matchup is one for the ages. Yes, they are a little bit older. They don't move quite like they used to. But again, with those two names, those two pedigrees, I think that's always going to be a great game to watch.
It was at the end was great. Everything else in between was boring. And like the game tying touchdown, the clock hits double zeros.
Yeah.
Before the ball snap, but that you always get that extra beat because it takes in that time for the ref to look up into the game clock and everything. And
I'm pretty sure that Brady probably gets an extra half second on top of that.
Oh yeah. It's the golden boy, so he got extra. But then they come out for the 2-point conversion. Same thing happens. You're the greatest quarterback of all time. You can't get your team in and out of the huddle fast enough to run to run your goal line play, do your 2-point conversion. So then you lose 5 yards, and then that pass. Oh my God, that was a terrible pass into the end zone for the 2-point conversion, which was almost another delay of game. It was just it's just a crazy weekend all around in football. It was great.
Falcons over to Seahawks. Mike, I do know, I'm just going to mention this. I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but I do know that you and I both chose the Seahawks in this game.
Yeah.
The Seahawks lose 23. Falcons had 27. Falcons go up to 1-2. Seattle drops to 1-2. Another couple teams from the NFC. And a lot of times you get to these NFC teams, you kind of lose interest because, again, we're not in the NFC. But the Seahawks lose. Falcons win 27-23. And finally, the Sunday night football game, Mike. Only the second time, only the second time in the history of the NFL, there was a final score of 11-10. The first, obviously, being the Steelers over the Chargers about 14 years ago or so, give or take. And the Broncos beat the San Francisco 49ers 11-10. Broncos, they go to 2-1, and the 49ers drop to 1-2. I thought Jimmy G was about to rip off a stream of games here and really makes San Francisco competitive after he picks up that spot after their quarterback gets hurt, but that did not happen. They lose 11-10. 49ers drop to 1-2. I'm not real sure what to make of this 49ers game.
It was the way they went down, they scored their first touchdown. They just marched up and down the field. I thought this is going to be, they're just going to light them up. But then the Broncos defense is tightened up, and San Francisco couldn't do anything. And then the play of the game, Jimmy G rolling out into the back, doing his drop, and then boom, steps on the line, throws a pick six, which was negated because he got the safety. And then if those of you who remember back in the day, Dan Orlovsky of the Lions, when he rolled out, all the way back in the end zone, ran like 5 yards out of bounds. The ref's going safety, the defenders celebrating, my man's still looking downfield. So it had shades of that. It was great. Oh, God, we had a butt punt and a quarterback run out of bounds for a safety that negated a pick six. I love it.
Yeah, a bunch of other shit, man, through this weekend.
It's
And
great.
finally, of course, the Cowboys and Giants, that game is going to be tonight, Monday Night Football. Monday Night Football, everybody, Giants will be hosting the Cowboys. Cowboys are 1-1. Giants are 2-0, hoping to tie up the Eagles in the division and keep that record undefeated. Mike, we do have different teams. I'm not going to say it because we're going to do the picks tomorrow. I don't know if you have it in front of you, but we both have separate teams in this game, so that's going to be interesting.
I took Saquon Barkley and the Giants.
Couple things here I want to talk about, Mike, as far as our Steelers. Let's see. OJ Simpson, when asked about the Steelers situation here with our quarterbacks, OJ, who we all trust and listen to.
Oh, yeah.
He says, start Kenny Pickett. This is what OJ says. Is OJ right or is OJ wrong for game 4 against the Jets this weekend, Mike?
OJ is wrong, as he often is.
OJ is wrong.
I want to see Kenny Pickett start against the Buffalo Bills defense. If he's the answer, he should be able to go out there and just dominate one of the best defenses in the league. So I'm, put him out there.
Yeah.
Put him out there.
Also, the Pro Bowl, Mike, the Pro Bowl is reinvented. They're dropping the Pro Bowl finally. There's not going to be a boring game of not tackling. Well, they have something else going where there's not going to be a tackle.
Yeah.
Let me get into that. The Pro Bowl, the NFL decides that they're going to have a week long skills competition in an action-packed flag football game. Now, I think that's kind of interesting. A lot of people did like the skills competition that they used to do in the NFL. They did away with it for whatever reason, but the skills competition is back. It's going to, like I said, go through that week. It's going to be a week-long bunch of skills, probably weightlifting, quarterbacks throwing on targets, running, all kind of cool stuff. So that is going to be this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. People were starting to complain about how boring the Pro Bowl was. They started losing ratings. So I think that maybe this could be something to help in that aspect because, you know what? I love the skills competition. I can't wait. And you know what? People are going to be curious to see what this flag football game is all about.
Yeah, I just hope don't do the flag football in the sand. I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, the Patriots had a running back who blew out his knee. Like multiple ligaments blew out in his knee in the sand when they did the flag football there. So don't do it on the sand. Skills competitions I'm looking forward to. I remember back in the day that the football and the chalk and you throw it at the target, have all the different moving targets. That stuff was fun. So you can throw the ball the furthest in like the weightlifting. Those dudes just banging out 225 like it's nothing.
I loved it.
Remember the couple years when they had like the kickers doing a weird field goal competition, like different angles off. Yeah, bring stuff like that back. I'll watch it. I'll get, sit back, get liquored up. Hell yeah, have a good time. Watch that shit.
Mike, I got roughly about 5 minutes before we're going to start shutting the show down for the day. Do me a favor. Give me you spoke to me a little bit over the weekend about something that Mr. Cam Hayward was saying about the last game that we played. If you want to go ahead and talk about that, go ahead, bud.
Cam had his little boo-boo face on, crying that the defense is out there too long. And then all the fans are buying into it because, there's too many 3-and-outs for the offense. So the Steelers offense
goes down the way you fix that. Get the fuck off the field. Stop the offense.
But they can't because they've been out there. Because they've been out there too. They were out there too long. It was just so unfair to them that they were out there for that long. But beginning of the second half,
The thing was, he wasn't like he was doing amazing things or overworking. He could have been out there for 45 minutes of the game, 45 of the 60 minutes, and it still would have been fine because he wasn't making any plays. If you're standing there, you're getting beat on plays. What's it matter if you're in there for too long or you're not? You're still not making plays. It was an excuse.
Yeah, here we go. Browns we had our 5-play missed field goal. Cleveland comes out, goes on a 7-play, 60-yard touchdown drive. Offense, 7 plays, 75-yard touchdown drive. Then the defense gives up a 12-play, 79-yard touchdown. How is that the offense's fault? How is that the offense's fault? Then you had the end.
You got steamrolled. You did nothing against a team that came in and said, we're going to run.
Yep.
So it's no trickery. It's man-to-man, mano. You couldn't do it along with your line mates. So you're going to sit around and say, we're on the field too long. Let's put some blame on the offense. Bullshit. For one, the offense is having all kind of problems. So you had to expect this. For two, the Browns are going to run all day with Chubb and with Kareem Hunt. 3, you made 7 silent tackles. Believe me, there was no plays where anybody said, wow, great job, Cam Hayward. It didn't happen. Yep. You made 7 tackles under the radar in a game where you got blew up by a running game, play after play after play after play, and you're gonna sit around and say we're on the field too long because of the offense. Bullshit. You're a leader, Cam. You're one of the leaders. Remember that? You're one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Remember that? I didn't see Aaron Donald getting blown up all day. As a matter of fact, he had a sack, his 100th sack. He had a couple tackles. You got to get on the ball, bud.
Well, then here at the end of the half, we had our 4-play, 25-yard drive, then halftime. Then we had a 10-play drive that we punted on. Then Cleveland goes on a 14-play drive, score and kicks a field goal. So we had 14 plays plus halftime, and then you come out and give up a 14-yard touchdown drive. How is that the offense's fault for keeping you out on the field too long?
You got dominated.
I want any
talking about. Look right through.
I want any fan out there to tell me how was that the offense's fault?
Yep.
You had 14 plays off plus halftime,
and then he has some kind of a caring week or this week here where he's focused on other things outside of football. Brother, you got to get your head in the game because the last 2 games you suck. And here's the thing: when TJ Watt was in there, it allowed things to open up for you to make these plays. For one, where did that go? For two, in game 1 you were jumping, you had springs on your legs, you're knocking balls down. You've done nothing. Stay away from the fucking media for a week or 2. Get your head in the game because you don't look like one of the best defensive tackles in the league.
It was just it was funny after the games that we got our asses kicked, and then you juxtapose that with Baker Mayfield's going, hey, we got the win, but I need to be better. It's just 2 types of leaders there. One saying we, one saying I.
Continue to do what you're doing, Cam. That's all I got to say because you're never going to convince anybody you're one of the top tackles. If you
the Yinzer fans
or do you need the defensive player of the year back in the lineup to actually perform like that? I think this is what we're trying to understand. You're the greatest when that player is in there. What is this telling us, Cam? Is this what's this tell us about you?
Yeah, he's
Mike,
overrated.
Why don't you go and tell everybody about the website?
TwoDumbYinzers.com. Head on over there. We have links to everywhere that you will find Two Dumb Yinzers. There's links all over the place for that. We have links to the email, everything you need. TwoDumbYinzers.com.
There you have it. Everybody go check that stuff out. We're every day, Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We are live here on YouTube, and we do upload this show on Spotify at 8 o'clock in the evening. So if you just want to listen, be sure to check that out. Mike, do you have time? Do you want to do a trivia?
Let's do a trivia.
Now, this trivia, we're starting a new week. So this is actually going to be a Jets question, Mike.
Okay.
Because we're staying with our theme of how well do you know your enemies, and we have the Jets coming up. So this trivia will be a Jets trivia. You think you'll do okay with that?
Oh no, I don't know a lot about the Jets.
Good. All right. Let me get set up here. I have to get set up to I have to get set up to embarrass you. I can't miss out on that if that happens.
That's fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay. All right. One more thing. I just got to.
Oh my God! You take forever. You're killing me, Smalls. Killing me.
All right.
I'm about to play the Jeopardy music for you.
Do you have a pencil?
No.
So all this time you're complaining about me not being prepared. You don't have your pencil.
No,
okay.
I don't. But let's do this. Let's do this.
Here we go. New York Jets trivia. How well do you know your enemies? Here we go. What was the New York Jets called before they were the Jets? What were the New York Jets called before they were the Jets?
Oh, I've only known them as the Jets. Well, they wanted the Super Bowl name if they were the Jets. They just popped into existence as the Jets. I think you're messing with me.
All right. So, the question of the day: what was the New York Jets called before they were called the Jets? Do you have any idea, Mike?
Let's go with the Knickerbockers.
The New York Knickerbockers. There you go.
Stealing the basketball team's name. Sure, why not?
All right. And what was the New York Jets called before they were the Jets? Mike says the Knickerbockers. And that is... that, of course, is wrong. I'm sorry. The correct answer, Mike, what was the Jets called before they were the Jets? The answer was the Titans. The Jets were called the Titans before they were the Jets. I don't know if a lot of people knew that. I certainly didn't. Maybe more New Yorkers will remember that. But there you have it. The New York Titans, Mike.
That's wild.
You have anything before we check out for today, sir?
Let's go Saquon Barkley. Run all over those cry boys. That's
there
all
you go. And we thank everybody. We thank everybody every day, believe me, for checking us out. Please continue to do so. We are on all 5 days a week from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Continue to watch. And like we mentioned earlier, continue to check us out over on Spotify in the evenings if you just want to listen. For Ryan, Mike, the two dumb yinzers, we'll see you tomorrow.